Hey, what's up everybody, it's me, Wisp again, and in this video I will actually be reviewing the Oraxia bundle pack, which just released 2 days ago. I actually wanted to release this video yesterday, but I was really tired, so that's my bad. Anyway, let's just get started. Okay, so here we have the Oraxia bundle. You can either buy it with real money through like Steam or whatever, and you can also buy it through Platinum. If you buy it with real money, you do get bonus Platinum, and if you gift it, you actually get a scuttler drone. The bundle contains, of course, the Warframe and the helmet that comes with her when you buy the bundle. 2 weapons, a secondary and a melee weapon, few cosmetics which are armor pieces as well as an ephemera, and a scuttler domestic drone. Now the goal of this review is pretty simple. I'm just going to be explaining whether this is worth your platinum and money, and I will also be doing a little review on Oraxia as well as the weapons. I guess I'm going to briefly look at Oraxia right here. She has 4 abilities and of course the passive. Her passive is that her wall latching activates invisibility for 8 seconds, pretty simple. Then you have Mercy's Kiss. You basically just jump on an enemy and deal toxic damage. And if you kill somebody with this attack, they have a chance, so it's not guaranteed, to drop health or energy orbs. Webbed Embrace is pretty simple as well. You throw a ball, I guess, down onto the floor. Enemies which are inside of this radius they are trapped, so they cannot move, and second, they have increased damage vulnerability. Then Widow's Brood is also quite a simple ability. You just shoot some darts in front of you, which also deal toxic damage, and poisoned enemies will spawn a scuttler minion when they are killed. And her 4th ability is Silken Stride. You basically go into your, like this ultimate form, I guess, where you walk on your spider legs. You have immunity to status effects, you have increased maximum health, and ranged weapons are imbued with toxin damage, which works similarly to Thite 09's ability to give you these special ammo packs, but it's basically just infinite, but only toxin. And killing enemies causes them to burst with toxin. And a second passive to this ability is actually that if you dodge, you will swing on a web, or rather just pull yourself to a location, and this will also activate her passive ability. Then Oraxia's role as the game itself would suggest, or rather tell you, is actually I have to. Oh, my bad. So she is a damage and a stealth warframe, but personally I would also say that she is a little bit of support because of her first ability, which gives you energy or health orbs. And she has pretty good survivability with her ultimate ability, because you not only are immune to status effects but also get some HP bonus. And she's obviously a summoner, but you know, there isn't a role for that. So if we go into her appearance, actually just a quick look, I think she looks quite nice. You can see her spider legs on her back if you aren't using the ultimate, which is quite nice. Overall, I think that this warframe is just very pretty. Both of her helmets are pretty nice, although this basic one is a little bit boring in my opinion. That's why I use the second one. It looks more like a spider. But yeah, and I'm gonna get into the weapons. Okay, so the first weapon is her secondary, this Seoted. I have no idea how to pronounce that. This actually is a really fun weapon to use because, you know, I've tested this weapon before. It's basically, you actually feel like kind of, I don't know, Spider-Man, I guess, when using this, because this shoots spider webs. It's also really good with status. I'm just gonna show you in a minute in a simulacrum. And this weapon has a very nice unique trait, which is the alternate fire throws a big bullet, I guess, and it pulls enemies together within 10 meters. And something that is nice is actually that the number of enemies afflicted is multiplied with multi-shot. So the base is 8 enemies, but as you see right here, I have 10 multi-shots, so I could theoretically pull 80 enemies if they are close enough to each other. This is a little build I made. It's actually pretty good. It deals a lot of damage. I just threw random mods into it and thought it would be good. I went for corrosive because it's good. And it has basic toxin, so it was easy to make it. As the arcane, I put Cascada Empowered, which on status effect deals plus 750 damage, matching the damage type of the status effect. So it will give plus 150 puncture and plus 150 corrosive. This only has a 50% chance to proc, but I think it's a good enough chance with 10 multi-shot and a almost 4 fire rates. I'm not sure if this actually describes her second, or like the alternate fire, but it also doesn't matter since you will only be using it to group enemies. Then there's the Spinnerex, which is a whip. Personally, I just have no idea how to build this. I have made a status build as well as a... Well, I tried to make a critical chance and critical damage build. I just don't have enough capacity. I tested both of these builds and I just deal 0 damage for some reason, like quite literally 0. I'm not sure if this is a bug or I'm just doing something wrong, but I'm going to show you in a simulacrum anyway. Now, these weapons don't really have any synergy with Oraxia, but you know, they do match her, I guess. I mean, the Sciotid matches her more than the Spinnerex because it's just a whip. But it's fun to use the Sciotid with her form because it makes you feel more like a spider. Okay, so here we are in the simulacrum. I am just really quickly going to show you the abilities before I go into, well, the weapons. So, as I said already, the first ability, hope I don't kill this guy, gives you either a health or energy, or in my case both. I don't know why. It has a chance to just drop a bunch of healing and energy, which is very nice. I actually like this ability. Also, whilst I'm here, I'm going to say that I do not recommend replacing any of her abilities in the, well, subsuming thingy. I don't really know how to call it. Because I think that all of her abilities are actually really good and work together well. And I'm actually going to summon a full 20 enemies. So her second ability is this web, and as you see, just traps enemies and makes them more vulnerable to damage. This is, yeah, you can just one-shot everybody here. My bow. This is a crit and status bow, so it has both. That's pretty good. But yeah, as you can see, the Sciotid will deal a bunch of damage too. Just has to build up first. But it's a pretty rapid-firing weapon, so it's, you know, it's not bad for damage, especially since these are like steel pab enemies and stuff. You can also like group them, well, if they weren't trapped. You see right here, that was the ultimate fire of this weapon. Then her third ability is also very nice. As you can see, it just shoots these web thingies everywhere, and if you kill these enemies, as you see, it will spawn a scuttler which will attack enemies. You can have 10 scuttlers at the same time. So I guess, you know, you can spam this ability, I guess, but it's not really worth it since the abilities are pretty expensive in energy. But you can have a bunch of them. They are going to slowly lose health because they actually are immortal, I believe, but they are on a timer. They're pretty good, actually. They do deal nice damage. I thought they would just be a distraction at first, but they're actually not bad. So now they're just gonna run around, I guess. I cannot kill them, obviously, since they're like my minions, but I guess I'm just going to wait until they die. Okay, so I'm back. The spiders have died. And I'm actually now going to show you the true power that Oraxia can actually do. So I'm just going to group these enemies together. For her 2, get a little bit more energy, I guess, and then do her 4. And as you can see, the damage is, you know, it's pretty good, I would say. You can also just go invisible, because I have Arcane Crepuscular, which deals more critical damage when invisible. And also it's a very good movement frame, because as you see, you can just launch yourself if you click space whilst swinging. So I'm just going to show with my bow, since this is more or less a crit weapon, just how overpowered this thing is. Let me just get a single enemy this time. He's gonna be up here. I guess I'll just shoot this guy. Okay, there we go. This does deal very good damage, as you can see. Without the incarnate, I believe that it will deal even better damage, although I don't have any more energy. Let's take one away. No, feels good. Yeah, it's basically one shot. I'm pretty sure this will deal even more damage if the enemies are actually in, well, high level, I guess. The reason they aren't is because I'm just not high. No, my master rank isn't high enough. So, this is it for the weapons part. I think they're really good. Wait, no. My bad. I still didn't show you the melee weapon. As I said before, I have no idea what I did wrong. As you see, this just deals 0 damage. I have played with this weapon before, and actually was dealing pretty good damage. That was on... I mean, that was on the... What's it called again? The Elite Sanctuary. But as you can see, it just deals no damage. I'm not sure why. So if you want to use this weapon, I suggest looking at a build for someone else. Mine just is absolutely horrible. It's absolutely 0 damage. I mean, this weapon is pretty fun to use, but I have other weapons that I prefer. So, you know, it doesn't really bother me that much. The weapon doesn't really have anything that special to it, besides that one passive I already told you about, I believe. And if I didn't use it again... So, on death, enemies have a 10% chance to burst for each stack of toxin status effects applied to them, spread toxin damage. So, you know, I believe this is actually better without corrosive. But again, I don't know. I'm not really gonna use this weapon that much. So if you guys can actually find a better build, you can also post it in the comments and I'll check it out. But we can actually end the weapons section and go on to the next one. Now I'm going to check out the cosmetics that come with Oraxia in this pack. So obviously you get the helmet right here. I think the helmet looks quite nice. If you like zoom in a little, it has multiple eyes. It's a spider theme pretty well in my opinion. Then you also have attachments, which are the Arachna, well, pieces. This one is actually pretty nice. It's really big. I just don't really use it myself. Then you have armor. This is really nice. It gives you like these, well, It's not really a blade because it's dual, but blade-like blades, I guess you can call it that. Also Arachna armor, which is like on your thigh and it goes down. It also looks pretty nice. And that is it for the armor, but you also get an ephemera, which is not the Diddy one. It is, please don't tell me I skipped it. No, there it is. This is the Giela ephemera. It basically just gives you a spider web. It does look pretty nice, I must say. I like this a lot, and I use it on my other Oraxia. It does fit the spider theme well. Although I would say that Oraxia herself doesn't resemble a spider that much. If I would look at her without knowing that she's actually a spider, I wouldn't really guess it. I would say that she's some sort of like, to be honest, I don't even know, like some viper thingy. But, you know, her overall design is very nice. When I first saw the Warframe, I was really excited to play her. Because, you know, she looks nice, her gameplay looks cool. And now that I have played her, I would definitely say that she does live up to the expectations. Okay, so now I'm going to get into the pricing breakdown. So the actual cost of the pack, as I already said, it's either $30 or what, I mean, yeah, it's $30. It does, I'm pretty sure that's a dollar sign, not like an overall sign of money. And, I mean, or 885 platinum. So if you're actually a free-to-play player and are grinding and are looking forward to buying this pack for some reason, then buying a pack is obviously better than buying each individual item, because as I have calculated, every single item together would cost you 1,135 platinum. So this is quite a nice sale, although I would say if you are looking forward to buying this bundle, do use money. Because not only do you get some platinum for free, but if you were wanting to buy platinum with $30, you would only get 540. So, you know, you wouldn't even be able to get this pack. So this pack actually is pretty cheap compared to what you could get with the platinum worth of this amount of money, like $30. Now, you can obviously farm Oraxia and like the weapons, but you cannot farm cosmetics as well as the scuttler drone. So I would actually do recommend you to farm Oraxia by playing the game. It is not too hard. It's just, you know, every single farm in the game is pretty time consuming. Actually, farm Oraxia by just playing the Isle Weaver node on the Duviri again and again. Because at the end of the, like, well, trial or whatever, like the mission, you do get Scuttler Husks, I believe they're called, and you are actually able to trade them in for parts at the Dormizione. I'm actually going to show you right now. But you also have a chance of getting a part of Oraxia or the weapons just by finishing the mission, which is nice. So you don't actually have to just, you know, spend the currency. So if I just go in here real quick, don't mind that this looks so naked, I never come here. As you see, Dominus Frex is here. And this is the... here's the shop. All of this I have obtained just by playing, because I was actually farming for the Phallus, which I have. I may do a video on it if it's really cool. I'm not sure. But these aren't very expensive. I think... okay, please shut up. I think you get around 20 or like 19 Scuttler Husks per mission. So a few missions can get you the whole set. Also, after finishing the Oraxia boss battle in the Isle Weaver node, there are a bunch of murmur caches spread around, and you can break them to get a bunch of the resources you actually need to craft the blueprints, or like parts, which you need the blueprints for, I guess. Other than that, this guy actually has some nice things in here, but I'm getting off track. Also, you do get Dominus Aureus, which you can spin here on like arcanes and whatever. It's actually not bad because there are a lot of arcanes here. Anyway, I'm getting off track again. Damn, should I actually get... Okay, stop. Stop. Let me just buy these. And get out.
We are satisfied. Remember,
now, the thing is... Do I recommend buying it? Yes. It is a nice pack. The warframe and weapons are good. Well, besides the whip, I guess. But I guess that's just a skill issue on my part. I'm pretty sure the weapon's good. But other than that, you know, if you're a free-to-play player, it's pretty easy to farm. Obviously, you won't be able to get the armor pieces and ephemera and the domestic drone. I mean, you can also farm platinum, but you know, it's just cosmetics. You don't need them. So I would just buy this pack if you want to support the game and just get the cosmetics real quick, as well as not needing to farm for the warframe, because as I said already probably multiple times because I keep forgetting, the farm is really easy. Once you get the hang of it, it won't take long. I do not recommend doing Steel Path because the reward difference is minimal, but the difficulty increase is very good. But yeah, now I'm going to get into the next chapter. Okay, so now we have come to the final verdict. This is basically a short summary and recommendations. Stop having voice cracks, please. Anyway, is the pack worth it? I would say yes. Warframe is fun to play. Weapons are pretty nice besides the melee, but this is probably my fault for not having a good build. Now, what to consider before buying the pack is that the grind for the warframe and weapons isn't hard at all. It will just take you a little bit of time. It's definitely easier than some other farms in the game. But then again, this is the last thing you actually unlock in the game, because you have to do the Hex quest before you're able to play this game mode. And well, this is basically it for the video. Thank you guys for watching. Make sure to like and subscribe if you want to, of course, there's no pressure, but it would mean a lot to me. I hope you guys have a great night or whatever you are having right now, and see you guys next time.